Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we have an exciting one. CAG recently released the event program schedule for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. This is a convention in the game where each manufacturer shows off their ships on specific days. Now, this is also a free fly event, so that means that the game will be free to play from November 22nd to December 5th. And if you're a new player, I just kind of want to put a little disclaimer out there. The servers and the performance of the game is typically not the best during this event. It's usually a little bit better later in the year, but I still recommend trying out the game for the first time because you have the ability to rent every ship on the show floor for free. And this is a huge ability to give you an opportunity to try out different ships and see if they're for you. So even the Polaris, huge capital ship, very cool. This will be free to rent during this event. So if you want to try out any of these ships, I highly recommend checking out this event. That's usually why it's so busy. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at what manufacturers will be presenting ships on each days. And there's a little video here. I'll leave this linked in the video description below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But we have the event program. So on day one, we have Crusader and Tumbril. Now, I don't expect to see anything new from Tumbril. We'll have the Tumbril Storm, the Nova Tank, the Cyclones, and we'll have the Concept Ranger. Now, with Crusader, we have a lot of really cool ships like the A2, M2, C2. Then, we have the Ion and the Inferno, the MSR, the C1, A1, and the E1, which is a passenger transport version of the C1. We've seen a lot of players, put chairs in the cargo area of the C1 to kind of make it that passenger transport because the chairs do stick to the grids. But the E1 has a couple of different amenities that are kind of separate. I am interested in seeing the E1 come back again. It is still in concept. And then, of course, we have the Crusader Intrepid. Now, CIG has teased this ship. It looks like it's positioned to be a starter ship to compare with other premium starter ships like the Avenger Titan, like the Sulin. I kind of expect it to fall in the $60 to $70 range. I think for kind of the size, based off, again, what CIG has shown, these are not leaks. This is basically what they showed at CitizenCon this year during the ship panel. They gave us a sneak peek of the interior. It kind of looks like it's going to be larger than a 100i, maybe a little bit larger than a Cutter, more in line with the size of something like an Avenger. So again, I think it's going to come in around 60 to 70 bucks. Then we have Aegis on day 2. This is not going to be too much of an exciting day. I do not think that we're going to see anything new from them specifically. We will have the Idris added to the Holo Viewer, but we won't be getting the Idris. CIG has essentially said that the Idris will come out with Squadron 42, and that isn't coming out until 2026, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, the Idris is technically in game right now. I'm not entirely sure why they're going to wait that long before they release this ship. In my opinion, that is kind of a bummer, but you will be able to buy it. I believe you'll be able to buy the Idris on limited sale, so there'll essentially be a time slot where you'll be able to buy the Idris. But again, it's not currently in game. It's dicey because it is technically in game, but it's not available for players. Again, it's kind of an unfortunate situation. I wish CIG would just put it in game already, but there are some balance things that I think they want to figure out a little bit more, and they want to save a few aspects of the ship because there are certain rooms in the ship that we're still not allowed to take a look at because I think they spoiled parts of Squadron 42. So we're gonna have to wait on the Idris. Nothing else news coming up from Aegis, but day 2 should be interesting for those people who want to pick up an Idris. Then we have day 3 with Misk and Mirai. Now, Misk, we know what's coming with Misk. We are going to be getting the Star Lancer Max and the Star Lancer Attack. Now, I don't know if CIG are going to make the Star Lancer build available for purchase during this IAE, because you could only buy the Max and the Attack during CitizenCon. They might make the build available for purchase during IAE, but part of me thinks that they want to wait until base building is closer, so they might not actually sell the build during IAE. I'm not sure, but it's a possibility that they sell it during IAE. Now, in terms of price, I think that it will be more expensive than the TAC a bit. It could either fall in between the Max and the TAC or be more expensive than the TAC. I think because it has 2 large drones, it might be around the same price as the TAC. Right now, my estimation is that the build is going to come in at around $300. Then we have Mirai. Now, with Mirai, they're a newer manufacturer. They don't have a lot of ships and stuff. CIG did move the other racing ships from Misk to Mirai. So we have the Razor, then we have the Furies and the Pulse. Now, CIG said at the ship portion of CitizenCon that there were 3 ships that were teased last year that was supposed to come out this year, but that haven't been released yet. And those 3 ships were the Legionnaire, which they decided to stop production on because they wanted to wait for hacking to get further along. And the other 2 ships were the Intrepid, which we've seen sneak peeks of and which I'm pretty sure will be unveiled at this year's IAE. And then the 3rd ship was the Mirai Guardian. This is not a leak. Again, they announced that the name is the Mirai Guardian at this year's CitizenCon during the ship panel. Okay, so we know for a fact it's called the Mirai Guardian, and we know for a fact it was supposed to get released this year. So whether CIG decides to release it during IAE or a little bit after for 4.0, I'm not sure. But I think that it makes the most sense to release it during IAE. But I think that CIG doesn't want to sell too many ships at one time because, again, there's going to be a lot of fatigue with all of the ships that, are available. And if you give people too many options, they, may not buy certain things or I don't know what could happen. So I'm not entirely sure if CIG is going to sell it. But seeing that it's a heavy fighter, Mirai ships are usually pretty maneuverable. I think something like this could come in at around $250. I think the Mirai Guardian, Mirai ships are usually not too expensive. The Pulse is pretty cheap. The Fury is pretty cheap. The Razors are not crazy expensive. I think that 250, a little bit cheaper than the F8, because again, the F8 is supposed to be the kind of the crown jewel. I think it's going to be around the same price as an Ion or a Inferno. But again, this is going to be a bit of a more maneuverable heavy fighter. So I think maybe $250, $275 is probably what the Guardian's going to come in at. Then for day 4, we have the alien manufacturers, Gatak, Apoa, Banu, and Isperia. Okay, with Isperia, you have a lot of different things. The Banu, of course, the Merchantman, it's again going to be in concept. Of course, we're going to have the Sulin, but also the Raylin is going to be available to purchase again. So I think there are, some options here, but I don't think this is going to be too much of an exciting day for a lot of people because, aside from picking up the Merchant Man, I don't know what else people are going to be really interested in. Maybe there are people waiting for the Rail-In to become available again. I think the Rail-In right now is still a pretty good value, and I don't know if the Merchant Man is going to go up in price. I think because it's not in production anymore, it won't. So my prediction is that the Merchant Man will not go up in price. Then we have RSI. This is going to be a big day for a lot of people because obviously this is the day that the Polaris is going to be on the show floor. And a lot of people are going to be interested in picking up the Polaris because they're going to be able to test it out. They're going to be able to fly it, all this stuff. We'll also have the Zeus. The Zeus is already in the game. You can buy them right now. They're really good ships. Of course, you have ships like the Constellation series, the Aurora series. You'll have ships like the Scorpius. So I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about our side day. I believe that the Phoenix might be on limited sale again. So yeah, our side day is going to be a big day, day 5. Then day 6, we have a bit of a mix-up of manufacturers. We have Argo, Consolidated Outland. We have Grey Cat, and we have Kruger. Kruger really only has 2 ships, nothing to really write home about there. Consolidated Outland, the Pioneer, is going to have a lot of manufacturing capabilities. It's going to be a big money maker. So if it does go on sale, I do think it will go up in price. I think we'll be looking at like 950. And then we have Argo. We're of course going to have, I don't think we're gonna have any new ships from them, but we're gonna have the Atlas mech. I don't know if CIG is gonna have like Atlas mech variant at this IE. I don't think they will again. I think they don't want to overload the community with too many new things to buy at the end of the day. Then we have Drake. This day is going to be very exciting for a lot of people because the Kraken is going to go on limited sale again. I don't know how many they're going to release or make available, but if you're interested in picking up the Kraken, they kind of teased it at CitizenCon a little bit. I don't think it's in production though. What is more exciting though is the Ironclad. So CIG hinted at the Ironclad being in development over the next 12 months. So that's probably the next major Drake ship to come out. So I think kind of the most exciting thing during Drake Day is probably going to be the Kraken limited sale and the Ironclad being available again. Of course, you're going to have ships like the Cutlass and the Corsairs. So a lot of people are going to be interested in looking at those, but I think the winner of this day is going to be the Ironclad. Then we have Origin. I don't think we're going to see anything new from Origin. Of course, we're going to have 600i, 400i, 300i, 100i, all of those ships, 85X. I know that during IAE, they typically have a special edition Inside Star Citizen where they talk about ships. So fingers crossed that they give us some kind of update on the 600i rework, but realistically, I think it's probably a long ways out and it's not something that we actually need, but it would just be cool to see. Then last but not least, we have Anvil Day, and I think what's going to be most interesting about this day is probably going to be the medical terrapin. I think that CIG are going to release the medical terrapin. Price wise, the terrapin is pretty expensive, so I think it will be a little bit cheaper though, because I think CIG wants medical gameplay to kind of thrive. Medical ships and ground vehicles have been kind of fallen in line with their non-medical counterparts, like the Ursa Medevac is not really that much more expensive than the regular Ursa. So the medical terrapin is going to come in at around the same price as the regular terrapin, $200 to $220. I think that is you know, what's going to make the most sense for it. I don't really see it being that appealing at something like 250. At 250, I would say buy it in game. That's just a lot of money for a medical ship, even if it's heavily armored, you know. Again, the kind of goal is to, at the end of the day, buy a lot of your ships in game, craft a lot of ships, you know, sell, trade, do all of this type of stuff. So this is really an opportunity to try out these ships to see what you like. A lot of things has changed. The flight model has changed, the MFDs, the way certain key binds are set up. So even ships that you're probably not super interested in, I still recommend trying them out, because if you haven't flown them in a really long time, they'll probably be a lot different from what you remember, and you might like them a lot more now. And then you can just buy them in game, or it can be something for you to grind towards. Then the last day, December 5th, best in show, weapons and armor. So we're going to see weapons and armor. There might be a special weapons and armor skin that CIG wants to get out there, and then we'll have like the best in show skins from the winners of the ship showdown. And then we have the finale. There's just a couple extra days to give people time to make their decision if they want to buy or not. All of the ships will be rentable and flyable, so you know, at the end of the day, you can you know, make your final decision, or just check out the convention hall, hang out with your friends, that type of stuff, before the free fly event is actually over. So I want to know what you guys think. What ships are you most excited to take a look at during this year's IAE? I know that there is a lot of excitement in the community for 4.0. I see it testing in Evo Cardi. People are going through the jump points. People are checking out the new planets in Pyro. The gas giant looks incredible. I can't wait to get my hands on 4.0. Hopefully they get a stable build out for IAE so we can take our time and enjoy it. And hopefully they get 4.0 into PTU before the end of the year. All of this stuff, again, is just predictions. I can't confirm any of it, but I know CIG are working really hard behind the scenes right now. They're working on different patches. It seems to be getting a little bit more stable. So again, fingers crossed that everything works out for them, so the players can enjoy a very nice holiday off this year. But that's going to be it for me in today's video, you guys. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me again. You guys have been supporting me tremendously. We just crossed over 2,000 subscribers, so I can't thank you guys enough for supporting this channel, watching these videos. I really like hanging out with you, replying to all the comments down below. You guys are awesome. So like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Salut.